From the King George's Estates outside of downtown Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, good Monday evening, everybody. Welcome back to KC and 60 right here on DARPATV.com. Kevin Canessa here with you for the next hour or so. To all of our regulars, I welcome you back to the program, and to anybody who may be here for the very first time, I welcome you to the program for the first time as well. And there's some breaking news out of Yankee camp, so let's go right away down to South Florida to my dear buddy, the host of the Mouth on Sports and the Fan Forum, Joel McGuirk. What's up, Mouthy?
What's up, Canessa? And first and foremost, big birthday shout out to myself. I'm actually upgraded tonight. I'm drinking Bud Light Platinum, so I'm enjoying myself.
You didn't even give me a chance to say happy birthday to you, for crying out loud. It's Joel's birthday. He just turned 53 today. So
no, come on. I am the man of self-promotion. If no one's going to give me a shout-out, I got to give it to myself first, damn it.
That's right. But in reality, Joel turned 32, I think, this year, right? Is that your age? Am I outing you wrongly here? I mean, you know, 32. It's hard to believe you're even 32. My God, where's time going? I remember when you were 29.
My God, I feel like I look like I'm 18. I had to shave today. I felt a little old, so I shaved a little bit, trimmed up, make sure I look good for the people on camera tonight.
That's what I like. But really, happy birthday, brother. Very happy for you, and I'm super happy for all the success that you've seen over the last couple of weeks. It's getting better and bigger on a daily basis. Let everybody know what's going on now on Thursday nights with Sports Rants and all that other stuff, that great stuff.
All right, absolutely. You know, Sports Rants Radio, and that's Sports Rants with a Z, man. We do it big every Thursday night from 7 to 9, man. The Mouth on Sports, like only I can do the mouth. The People's Champ, as my man, Mr. Carmine Capron, has said. Truly interactive, man. It's really interactive sports talk radio. I got the Twitter feed up from Sports Rants, from Joel M. The Mouth on Twitter. We got the email set up. You can call into the show. So many ways to be interactive. It's like a show like none else. It flows. The topic are just, you know, no amount of topics that we don't cover. Even the NASCAR fans can call up and say anything they want.
That's right. And this is every Thursday nights, 7 to 9 Eastern Time, sportsrantsradio.com. And I've enjoyed being a part of it. So thank you for allowing me to be part of it, and congratulations, bro. Now let's get on to this whole Ichiro thing. What the hell happened?
I don't know, Canessa. I know the Yankees had needed outfield help. I know that the reports of Brett Gardner being out for the remainder of the season was a tremendous blow to the Yankees and the way they were going. And you kind of look at Ichiro near the tail end of his career. It came out of nowhere. He was fighting with management in Seattle. He wasn't really happy with where the team was going. I mean, they have Felix Hernandez, who seems untouchable. But you're moving a Hall of Fame guy, in my opinion, because there's been no Japanese player like him of his kind. You're moving a Hall of Fame player for two, and I'm going to say it, irrelevant SOB pitchers from minor league deals. This guy, you come into the pinstripes, and I don't know what it is, Canessa, and you know our hatred for the Yankees, you and I, but when you get traded and you go to the Yankees, some people perform, and I think Ichiro is that kind of guy who's going to succeed. I hate to say it, man, and I hate to give credit where credit is due to the Yankees, goddammit.
But he's an institution there. Isn't that like for Seattle to trade him? Wouldn't that be the equivalent of the Yankees at one point saying, we're going to trade Derek Jeter because he's not happy here? Isn't it a little bizarre that Seattle would trade him with the kind of institution he's been out there on the West Coast?
I mean, I think you look at it this way, and you're right, you make a great point. He's been a cornerstone of that franchise since he's come over. The Japanese media have kind of frenzied over him, but I think at some point the novelty of this guy wears off. The Yankees and Jeter are successful on a whole nother level because of what they have accomplished. Besides Ichiro getting 200 hits every season, what the hell has he accomplished in Seattle? I mean, at some point the novelty wears off. You're not giving out as many credentials to Japanese media guys because they're not smelling the postseason. They're the worst team in that division. So I mean, at some point you have to look and you have to say, hey, you know, like they did with Joe Namath, like they did with Joe Montana in football, Brett Favre, some of these other guys, Michael Jordan going to the Wizards. You know, when you got some life left in your career and you're a 200 hitter average amount of hits, Yankees can always use that extra offense because God knows that their pitching hasn't been great in the postseason.
We're talking to Joel McGuirk in Port St. Lucie, Florida. Will he play the outfield? Will he be their designated hitter? What's the plan here with a guy like him coming to the Yankees?
See, and I think that's interesting. You bring up a good point, Canessa, because the Yankees have had 5 or 6 guys play that DH position who still hit home runs, who still mash, and I think that's where this is great for the Yankees. They can use Ichiro in the outfield if necessary because God knows he's better than any defensive outfielder they have out there, except I'll give a pass to Granderson. Swisher, we know he can be kind of pathetic out there in the outfield arm-wise, but no one defensively is better than Ichiro, and where you can rotate him into that revolving Yankees DH rotation is great for him. Give him some days off. I think he fills a void not only in the outfield, but in that DH position where he could still get his at-bats. He fits in perfectly where the Yankees need him.
So bottom line, this is a steal of a trade for the Yankees, no?
Oh, this is beyond a steal. I mean, this is like trading Scott Kazmir for the wrong Zambrano. I mean, the Yankees and Cashman came up with a deal here. And Canessa, you know, it's hard for me to respect in some things what the Yankees do because they always go all out. They always had more money than the Mets. But this is the most logical, sensible, smart baseball move that the Yankees could make, all be out without getting a Cliff Lee or a Roy Halladay for their pitching staff. Your offense can only get better. I mean, the Rangers, the Angels, and shit, even the Oakland Athletics are still have offensive firepower, but you had a guy like Ichiro with add speed, add hits. You're just adding awesomeness to this Yankee lineup. I hate using those two words together.
It is tough, but it begs another question, though, with this awesomeness and the ability that they have with money and the flexibility that Brian Cashman has. Does he go out and make more trades? Is this it for the Yankees, or is there more ahead here?
No. I think it's really going to be interesting to see what this Yankee pitching staff does. Now that they got swept for the first time in Oakland since God knows when, the first time in the franchise history that they've gotten swept in a 4-game series, losing all the games by 1 run, you have to wonder. With CC, you have to question because he was on the disabled list. Andy Pettitte not coming back. And Yankee fans, as cocky as they want to be and as great as they want to sit here and say, the Yankees are the best fucking team in the American League, it's a farce. I mean, they got lucky in 2009. Their pitchers went on a run. Last year they lost to the Tigers. The year before that, you know, they didn't make it all the way. They lost to the Rangers in the championship game. But you can always get better at the pitching. And if there's one name out there, and I think the Yankees might make a run at Cliff Lee, and from our sources, and we know who we're talking about, our good friend The Wiz, he says that Roy Halladay can be had for a price. So I don't think the Yankees are done anywhere because the Angels have a better pitching staff, the Rangers have a better pitching staff, and shit, right now, the Detroit Tigers in first place for the first time this season have a better pitching staff than the New York Yankees.
Let's switch gears from the American League New York team to the National League New York team, the one that you and I both root for, the one that you and I have different takes on right now. First time all year long they're under 500, Joel. I'm ready to give up and say this has been a fun half a season. Where do you stand on all of this?
All right. Now you know I'm. Let me hold on a second here. Let me get this thought straight. Now we know that I'm the eternal optimist for the Mets fan. I gotta get my head straight here. I needed a drink for this comment. I'm the eternal optimist for the Mets fan. Now I don't. Maybe I'll take the turn of saying the Mets aren't a postseason team. I was kind of reaching for the stars here, and we both knew that. Maybe I was a little crazy saying they could make the postseason, but I am not getting away from my stand for this season that this is a fun team to watch.
Okay, all right, they may be fun to watch, but what's fun about watching a team that has lost 7 of their last 8 games pretty humiliatingly, and who has a bullpen that can't get it done? I mean, this bullpen showed you in these last 2 series that it's a joke of a bullpen.
No, and you make a fair point. I'm not gonna knock anyone's opinion on the New York Metropolitans because we know as Met fans there's such a tremendous balance. There's an unevenness in Met fans, but look at it this way: the battling that this team does, the no names of this lineup. Canessa, the Mets are doing it the right way. They're not overpaying a Mo Vaughn. They're not getting guys like Bobby Bonilla or Ricky Henderson. You got guys like a Kurt Neuenhuis, a Lucas Duda, a Josh Thole, a David Wright, who's been almost 10 years with the Mets now. I just look at the way that this team is going, and when I came into the season and said, you know what, 65 fucking wins, Mets are finishing dead last in the division, to sit here on my birthday on July 23rd and say, hey, you know what? I'm watching that game tonight against the Nationals because you never know what's going to happen with this team. I mean, Valdespin, that 3-run home run, yeah, we know the bullpen sucks, but Canessa, out of 32 Major League teams, how many bullpens are really that dominant?
That's a fair point. That's a very fair point. There aren't any good, there are very few good bullpens out there. But if this team is going to get better, if this team is going to show fans or give fans a reason to show up at Citi Field in August and September here, where they need to sell tickets, they need the money, they need the revenue. There's no, I don't see a legitimate reason now, because even if they go into a game with a serious lead here, the chances are.
That's where I got to stop you right there, though. That's where I have to stop you, because Matt Harvey getting called up to make this start on Thursday is a tremendous sign in the right directions for Met fans. Jose Reyes put asses in the seats. I think a guy like Matt Harvey, and you can sit here and say, Canessa, I know we might hear from Jersey Rob or some Met fans, well, Matt Harvey got shelled in his last start in AAA. That doesn't mean shit. Okay? The way this team is going, first time under 500 all season, people are getting down. Guys like you who always have the glass half empty are even less empty. You're taking that last shot of Met fandom and you're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm giving up. But you can't. Matt Harvey, Generation K, it never worked out. But this guy, give him a chance. I think the dog days of August and September where the Mets are falling off, this guy, Matt Harvey, is going to invigorate this fan base to keep him saying, hey, this young homegrown talent, it's where we're going to stake our claim. It's where we're going to get better. And this is the first of many years where we're going to be developing. Because honestly, any Met fan, and including myself, I was delusional thinking that we're making the playoffs. But, you know, the way that they're building, it kind of gives you hope. They haven't sacrificed their future to get better in the bullpen. We know they're more off than the bullpen to make the World Series. And I think this is good what Sandy's doing.
So you mean to tell me that you think on this day, on July 23rd, 2012, 32 years after you entered this world for the very first time, that there are people out there who are going to shell out $50 to see Matt Harvey pitch 4 or 5 innings in a Major League Baseball game on top of parking and concessions? You really mean that?
Yeah, Canessa, I have never been 100% adamant about anything in my life. When you are a Met fan and you go back to bleeding blue and orange like I do, 32 years on this earth, nothing but Met fandom in my blood, you don't get that many pitchers you get excited about, okay? Dwight Gooden, Generation K, never worked out. But besides a Matt Harvey, a Zach Wheeler, who the hell else can you say in the last 10 to 12 years have you been excited about a Met pitcher? Dylan G, he came out of nowhere. Jonathan Neese came out of nowhere. Dickey is a reclamation project. Santana was a free agent. The last great homegrown talent Met pitcher, I can't even honestly fucking name. But Matt Harvey is a guy that we've been hearing about since he's been drafted that's going to save this franchise. Usually it's a David Wright or a Jason Bay or a Jose Reyes. But now the Mets are kind of looking in the direction of pitching moving forward. And I think that's a step in the right direction.
The last time I remember something remotely close to this, Mouth, and you were a little bit younger than I was back in 1995 when I remember going out to see Paul Wilson pitch. And I remember the crowd was about 14,000. And this is, of course, right after the strike, so it's a little bit of a different circumstances. But I don't see the crowds really coming for a pitcher. They didn't come out when this Generation K was supposed to be so good. And that was 3 guys, not just Matt Harvey. That was 3 guys. That was, Pulsiver, Isringhausen, and Wilson. So people didn't come out for that. That's why I'm not so sure people are going to flock to Citi Field to see a pitcher who hasn't shown himself.
You make a great point. But you make a great point. But there's a difference now that we're talking about 2012 than the late and early 90s. You have social media. You have Met fans who have seen him pitch from Port St. Lucie, from Binghamton to Buffalo, who know his potential. And I think that's different. I think at least in the first 3 starts, I can't guarantee in September, but I'm guaranteeing from his first start, the end of July into August, you're going to see an increase of attendance during his pitching because people know, how good he's really supposed to be. And I think in terms of social media, the actual marketability of baseball, more Met fans have seen him, and I have seen more tweets and more blogs and more Facebook postings about, hey, give this guy Matt Harvey a chance, let's see what he's got, and Met fans will really truly be watching.
Okay, it's a fair point. It's a fair point. I just don't know about the figures, the attendance figures. I want to see big crowds. I like to see big crowds, but when you consider that even games that R.A. Dickey has pitched, they haven't been able to draw 23,000 at some of these games. I just question whether a rookie can do that. I hope you're right. I really do. I just have my doubts. So we'll see what comes of that. What else is going on in the world of sports today? It's been a pretty crazy day between all this Yankee stuff, the Mets, and the Rangers trading for Nash and Penn State. What else is on your sports radar today?
To me, the big thing right now is this, and I'm going to sound like an asshole, and I might upset some people right now, but I don't give a shit. It's this beating of the dead horse with Penn State, okay? And it's still seeing apologists, and it's still seeing people saying, well, the athletes didn't do anything, why should they be penalized? Or really pompous asses like a Mike, Golick and Greeny in the morning saying, please talk me into why this penalty is good for football and for Penn State. It's ridiculous at this point to see some of these guys' arguments. What do you mean, why is it good for football in Penn State? Number one, it's a fucking moral issue. Number one, that's the biggest and first and foremost thing in my mind, is this is a moral issue. We're not, and it's saying that, this has been going on in college football. Look at what Ohio State did with the tattoos and with what they did. Miami with what they're doing with Devin Shapiro. But to see that little things covered up, to see the mountain and pile of shit that Penn State got into for this is a moral issue. And I think anyone saying that, well, the athletes shouldn't be punished, well, look, you know what? That's why they put into these punishments the athletes can transfer with no reason. Penn State should have been paying more than $60 million fucking dollars, number one. And number two is, there is no one who can apologize for any of this anymore. It is more clear, more point blank. I mean, the NCAA came up with oh, shit, I forgot.
Can you hold the thought for a second?
Yeah, of course.
Such a great rant, and I had to cut it off. Damn commercial breaks. We'll be right back. Don't go away. We're going to have a lot more from Joel on the other side of the break.
Hey, kids, don't let anybody tell you what to do, except me. Wait, don't listen to me. Hey, put your hands in your gloves, feet in your socks, your legs in your pants. Pull them up and dance, put your hands in the air, growl like a bear. Once in a while you might have to comb your
Ratatouille! Ratatouille! This is not my ratatouille!
Tongue in your mouth, get out of the house, put your foot on.
No, Ratatouille! Where are you, Ratatouille? I know he can hear me. That's why he's loving it. Marlins Park looks empty. Oh, there is with a big smile. The Marlins got 3 hits. Yeah, you love it. I know you can hear me. I know they can't hear me on the other side of the fans can't hear me, but I'm laughing and screaming and shit over here.
I'm dying over here. Before we get back into your rant, I want to play this. I recorded this because it was easier than trying to do this live. Okay, take a look at this, bro, and tell me what you think. Sexual abuse is reprehensible, especially when it involves children, and no one, starting with Joe Paterno, condones or minimizes it. The horrific acts committed by Jerry Sandusky shock the conscience of every decent human being. How Sandusky was able to get away with his crimes for so long has yet to be fully understood, despite the claims and assertions of the Free Report. The release of the Free Report has triggered an avalanche of vitriol, condemnation, and posthumous punishment on Joe Paterno. The NCAA has now become the latest party to accept the report as the final word on the Sandusky scandal. The sanctions announced by the NCAA today defamed the legacy and contributions of a great coach and educator without any input from our family or those who knew him best. The president, the athletic director, and the board of trustees accepted this unprecedented action by the NCAA without requiring a full due process hearing before the Committee on Infractions, and is an abdication of their responsibilities and a breach of their fiduciary duties to the university and the 500,000 alumni. Punishing past, present, and future students of the university because of Sandusky's crimes does not serve justice. This is not a fair or thoughtful action. It is a panicked response to the public's understandable revulsion at what Sandusky did. The point of due process is to protect against this sort of reflexive action. Joe Paterno was never interviewed by the university or the Free Group. His counsel has not been able to interview key witnesses as they are represented by counsel related to ongoing litigation. We have had no access to the records reviewed by the Free Group. The NCAA never contacted our family or our legal counsel, and the fact that several parties have pending trials that could produce evidence and testimony relevant to this matter has been totally discounted. Unfortunately, all of the facts have been ignored by the NCAA, the Free Group, and the university. Are you kidding me? Does what the Paterno family have to say about this make one fucking bit of a difference in this scenario?
Vanessa, you see me shaking my head, and what we were talking about on my show last Thursday about defending your family, you take it to a point, but they crossed the fucking line here, the Paterno family. I mean, you know what he did, accept responsibility. They're vacating 111 of your father's victories. Obviously, there is something beyond reprehensible about what he did here. And at some point, as a family, as much as you defend actions, it's like that show, Canessa, and I know you're a fan of that show, Intervention. At some point, the family has to understand that they're being enablers right now, and they're making it look worse. And they're trying to, and I know, and I really know, as a person of addiction and with your family really feels, and this is a totally different situation, but it's kind of comparable, that you do have to step up to the plate and say, hey, you know what? My father, he should, he did know a little bit about this, and we do accept some responsibility. It's unfortunate about what happened to him, and we're okay with what the university did because there is no irrefutable evidence. There is no reasonable doubt here, Canessa.
That is the bottom line. The evidence is there for them to be critical of Louis Freeh, who used to run the FBI, as if to say, oh, well, he didn't get his facts right. I mean, this is a well-respected member of the law enforcement community. He's a marvelous attorney, and he knows what he's doing. And for them to turn around and say that he has no credibility? I mean, what about the fact that their father, Mr. Humanitarian, turned his back on all these kids? I mean, it doesn't take an FBI member's report to know what this guy failed to do. I mean, it is just mind-numbing that they would take this approach. And again, I mean, what do they want to see happen? What do they want? They want a slap on the wrist?
Yep. And you know what's interesting? We had a little conversation about this before. I don't think that this penalty really, it may hurt the quality of athletics. When you look at a Michigan or an Ohio State or even a Michigan State moving forward, but I think in terms of a fan base, it doesn't really hurt them. Okay, and I know some people are like, what the fuck are you talking about, Mount? They're not going to sell out. Well, you're dead wrong. For any of you guys who think that this is going to hurt attendance and overall, it's going to hurt quality of football, but I don't think it's going to hurt the fans because there's nothing else in Happy Valley. And Canessa, you and I talked about this, and for anybody who's seen We Are Marshall, when you're a tight-knit community like Happy Valley is, and you have a god of a coach in people's eyes, and that's that's how they really looked at Joe Pod. No one can deny that. This is going to only keep people coming, and it's going to keep people supporting it, and that's just what's going to happen. The athletes have the choice to move, and that's it. Suck it up, move the fuck on, and you can't do anything else about it. You got your punishment, and you deserve what you got, if not more.
We have an old-time Shovio person here tonight, Beyond Therapy, who I haven't seen in a long time, and there's Tom. He's here too. So we got a lot of old familiar faces here. It's like another Shovio reunion here.
Did you see that comment by Tom there? Pure heaven. We're pure heaven, bro.
Pure heaven. Even on a day where the Rangers get Nash, you still find some joy in seeing the two of us together, and it's always.
I got to read this tweet. I wanted to read this tweet to you, and I want your reaction. All right, this is from ESPN Stats and Info. It was tweeted about 5 minutes ago. The Rangers, Brad Richards, Marian Gaborik, Rick Nash, and Henry Lundqvist are all ranked in the top 3 in 2011-2000 salary at their respective positions. Are the Rangers going back to this big money ball like the Yankees of hockey? I mean, what the fuck is going on? And does this Rick Nash deal really make the Rangers better for what they give up?
It does. It does. This is going to make them very formidable. I hate to admit it, but I think this really... I honestly think that if they had gone out and traded for him at the trading deadline, as they had originally planned earlier last season, I think that was the difference between the Rangers losing to or beating the Devils in the Eastern Conference Finals. If they had had Nash, I think Nash would have been a remarkable difference for that team. That said, so much is unknown still, bro, about what's going to happen with the whole salary cap thing and the collective bargaining agreement, which expires, and with the potential for a lockout and all this other nonsense. So I don't want to say that the Rangers are ready to go back to Moneyball, but again, because they know from past history it didn't work for them. This is a little bit different, though. This is a character guy. This is a guy who will add to the chemistry of that hockey club. And I think they got a steal in this trade today. So let's see what happens with...
Even giving up Dubinsky and Amisov?
Dubinsky was a guy who most Ranger fans had a love-hate relationship with. And Jim Graham, who is the biggest Ranger fan out there, can probably back me up on this, that there were just certain guys out there, certain fans out there who either just adored Dubinsky or couldn't stand him, and who are very, very glad he's gone. See, there you go. He just said bye-bye, Doobie.
Yep.
I know Jim Schmeiderberg, who does Rangers Underground Blue Shirt Banter, was a big detractor of Dubinsky. So I think a lot of people are very, very happy to see him go, to see Nash. That said, again, they've made these kinds of big trades before that have been colossal waste. So I want to see what happens when he skates out there at Madison Square Garden. Going from Columbus to Madison Square Garden is a big change in the hockey world, too. You go from being an absolute nobody to be playing on that surface and in that environment. God only knows. I want to see what he's made of once he hits the ice out there. So we'll see what happens there. But I want to go back to one other question, though, if I could, real quick, that I forgot to ask you. You had mentioned, and I promise this will be the last with the Penn State stuff. You had said that, and reminded everybody that it's possible for the kids to transfer if they want to not play at Penn State right now. We're only a couple of weeks away from the time where universities and colleges start to get together for training camp for the beginning of preseason here. There doesn't give much time for kids to decide they're going to transfer and go to another school and have to pack up their things and go to another part of the country, perhaps. Realistically, Joel, do you really think that there's anybody who's going to actually pack it up and pack it in and go to another university at this point in time?
Canessa, abso-fucking-lutely, bro. Are you kidding me? I mean, think about this, and this is going to set... And I don't care if this sounds PC or whatever. The truth of the matter is, kids want to be seen. You go to Penn State for two reasons. Number one, you're either wanting to play in the Big Ten and you couldn't get into Ohio State or Michigan or anything like that, so you kind of choose Penn State. And number two, you want to make it in the fucking NFL. And you want to go somewhere where it's going to showcase your ability. The Big Ten has its own network. You're getting into the Rose Bowl, so any school you get going there is great. So there will be a couple high-end caliber recruits coming from Penn State that coaches would love to have on their team. But I think, just absolutely, man. I mean, it's just really tremendous what happens with the athlete, and that these kids sometimes unless you're a third and fourth generation person of Penn State, you're going there to get noticed. And that's the reality of the situation. Anywhere you go, Penn State, Ohio State, I'll even throw Miami, Florida State, Notre Dame, a lot of people go there for only the notoriety. So if you're able to transfer somewhere and the coach says, hey, you were a starter over there, damn right, you're going to come in the ACC and you're going to perform, or you're going to go in the SEC and you're going to perform. So I think you'll see some interesting stuff from this Penn State situation with players being able to go to wherever they want to go.
Jim puts out a good point here, too. It's ironic because the enrollment at Penn State University is at its best right now. But that begs a question here. If guys are going to pack up and go somewhere else, even though they don't have much time, will it be freshmen and sophomores who have a career ahead of them? Will it be juniors and seniors? Like, could a senior really pull this off at this point in time? 1 year away from getting a degree and getting having to pick up and go to another university to play football for a final year. So is it going to be younger kids? All of them? What's it going to be? And
it depends.
Will there be enough kids to put a team together here?
Oh, absolutely. I think you're going to see, okay, and here's what we're going to see. I think you're going to see a mixture of athletes moving. You're going to see younger guys who say, hey, we can't get this prestigious Rose Bowl. We're not going to get the TV exposure. We're going to leave. And on the other end, I think you're going to see upperclassmen who think they have NFL potential and they need to be seen more often transferring. But when you're saying, can you feel the team, kids are going to still go to Penn State because their dad went there, because their grandfather went there. Kids are going to go to Penn State because they want to go to Penn State. That's not going to change. You know, if you weren't there before and you didn't get molested by Sandusky, I don't think in your heart of hearts, had you had Penn State set out, it's going to change your mind. And with that being said, they're still going to field the football team. They're not going to be as competitive. They'll be in the doldrums of the Big Ten for the next 4 years to come, but people are still going to go to Penn State because that's where they wanted to go.
So a lot of it comes down to legacy. I understand that. But I still, you know, I don't know. All in all, let's get a conclusion from the mouth on this. Was the penalty too soft, too strict, or was it right on the money? What is your ultimate and final thought on this?
My final thought on this is the penalty was ultimately fair. It gives the athletes a chance to go wherever they want, so they're not harmed. No harm, no foul, because those guys weren't involved. It takes away, you know, it takes away the bowls because that's a more source of a revenue, but why do they deserve the revenue? It takes them away from championships. Why more money? The only thing in my opinion, Canessa, and in my mind is it's hard for me for them to take away the 111 wins from Joe Pa. To me, that is the only part of this punishment that I can kind of not really understand, because what are you doing taking those wins away? They didn't win a national championship in that time. They didn't really win anything significant from the amount of times, the 111 wins that they took away from Joe Pa. All they really did was kind of take away from his coaching legacy. I can understand why they did it, but I'm not really okay with that part of the penalty. All the rest of the penalty, I'm totally okay with.
That whole concept of taking away wins is bizarre, because what that basically says is that those games never happen. Like what exactly does it say? Like it doesn't make sense. And you know, King is in the chat room and says you're taking away the wins from the players too. There's a group of kids for 12 years who are going to say, theoretically, all those games we played and won, we didn't really win. What the frig is that all about? That's an excellent point made by King there. What did those kids do? Those kids didn't necessarily know that Jerry Sandusky was molesting boys while these games were taking place, and on the road and in hotels and in showers and things of that nature. So why do you penalize the kids? I mean, again, that's where a lot of this doesn't make sense, and why I don't understand why people were calling for a death penalty in this case. Why would you penalize kids who are there now for the mistakes of the past? I understand, and I guess I can understand what the Paterno family is saying when they say that. Then it's only fair. It's not fair to these kids who are innocent in this whole thing.
Well, yeah, and that's why they're giving them the option to move, and that's why some of taking away these wins is one of the part of the penalties that I don't really understand, and that not necessarily that I'm not okay with, because like King said, like you're saying, is the players will never know if any of them really knew Canessa, and that's the whole thing there. Did any player knew? Did the backup snapper know that this guy was getting molested? We don't know that, and that's why it's hard to take away from these kids who played on the field, and I don't think you knowing that a child got molested takes away from your value of how you coach an offense or how you coach a defense, and I think that's kind of hard in this situation on where you draw the line.
Well said. Tell everybody what they can expect Thursday night or tomorrow night.
Wait, before I do that, you're not busting my balls on the Marlins right now? You're not going to bust my balls on the Marlins? They started their fire sale already. You called me a traitor, and you don't even bring up this trade they made?
I didn't know the Marlins made a trade. I don't pay any attention to the most insignificant team in all of sports. What happened?
The Marlins today traded Anibal Sanchez after his pretty lackluster performance yesterday, and Omar Infante. Yeah, and Omar Infante to the Tigers for some guy I've never even heard of. Turner something.
Sanchez. I mean, that's a name against like Ichiro with Seattle. That's a name synonymous with the Marlins. That surprises me. What's going on there? Is your buddy Larry Beinfest going to start selling like crazy, or what's going on there?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I got the game on now on Fox Sports South Florida here. The stadium is empty. Nothing's turning around. It's looking like Hanley is the Hanley of last year. Reyes isn't really panning out to what they wanted. Lomo, shaving his head. He looks like I won't even go there. But, this team is this team is underperforming. It's the first time you had a big payroll with a team like this. And I think this fire sale, I think Josh Johnson might be moved next. And I think Hanley Ramirez is a guy who could possibly be moved before this January 31st trade, July 31st trade deadline.
Where is Josh Johnson going to end up if he gets on the trading block?
There's an interesting part of me that's saying that Matt Garza is going to make the move within the National League to the Nationals. The Nationals are going to pick up Matt Garza as a dark horse, and I say the Boston Red Sox will be making a move to get Josh Johnson from the Marlins, and that's not coming. I don't have sources like Buster Olney or Ken Rosenthal or any of these guys out there, but deep down inside as a baseball fan, I can see Josh Johnson going to the Red Sox in a package for Hanley Ramirez, something else working out like that.
Remarkably, even though they've played as shittily as they have, the Red Sox are not out of this wild card race by any means, which is really amazing when you think about how the shit hit the fan really in Beantown. We got the second break coming up. Can we wrap things up on the other side of the break?
Of course, bro.
It's 39 minutes past the hour.
Be honored.
It's unbelievable. It's like we just started the show, and here it is. It's 40 minutes in. It doesn't matter who's on what side of the glass. It's unbelievable how fast 40 fucking minutes goes by, isn't it, Mouthy? I mean,
just flows.
We're gonna take.
Unbelievable, man! Until you said 40 minutes, I had no fucking idea.
I know. We're gonna take the second of two Shovio breaks. I'm gonna just say it because it's easier. And when we come back, we'll wrap it with the mouth. On his birthday, the day he turns 32 years of age, he is with us right here on KCN 60. But you guys, don't go away. Got more to get to on the other side. Be right back.
The whole fucking show, Canessa. The whole fucking show. I know you can hear me. Dude, 40 minutes. I'm sorry to take up so much of your time, bro. My bad, man. I know you're only doing an hour, and I feel like an ass. I took up most of your fucking show. Alright, cool. So we're good. Alright, cool, man. Cool. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they went to Japan. Now they're marketing Japan here. Ho! Ohio gozaimasu! Mushi mushi totomate ne! Oh yeah, karaoke!
All I have to say is wait till you
ni hao danyao! I know you're laughing your ass off over there. See, Ichiri Sachi go! I speak Japanese, Ichiro! Oh, look at this one.
Konnichiwa. Okay, we're back.
Konnichiwa!
And the great thing is I'm recording this, so you're going to get to see all these things afterwards. It's wonderful. You don't see what's going on the commercial break, folks. Joel, I can hear Joel when he's talking. What is that?
Oh, it's my phone, man. I just want people to know, that's the droid killing the iPhone. On my screensaver, I have an Android guy pissing on an iPhone.
You got a pussy on your shoulder, too.
Yeah, pussy on my shoulder. Oh, I know. The cat's hanging out, man. That's Smokey the cat. He made his first appearance.
Can you bring Smokey to the camera? Is he like pick-upable?
Yeah, I'll get him. Hold on, I'll get him. Yeah, I'll get him.
Yep.
Come on, Smoke. You want to make your appearance on the radio?
Yeah.
On some TV and shit? All right. This is the cat, man. Yes, I do. Hey, come on, man. I thought we were going to let personal information like that get out. Come on. Yeah, that's my cat.
Did the cat just hiss?
I have another one that's orange. Yeah, the cat just hissed at me a little bit. He doesn't like to be picked up or touched sometimes.
Does the orange cat have the same color hair?
That's how pussy is, though, Canessa. Sometimes you touch it the wrong way, it's going to yell at you and snap at you.
Oh, thank God there's no FCC, because we would have been fined quite a bit in the last 30 seconds alone. Oh, my God.
I know.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
So let me wrap this up and let you get your last 15 minutes of showtime here. Man. You know, I feel bad taking up all this time.
Yeah, what's going on tomorrow and Thursday?
Let's let these people know, man. Tomorrow night, Tuesday night, man, DARPA TV, we're going to be back right here, Fan Forum. #1 last week. One show last week with my immortal producer, Kevin Canessa, coming in a close second. It was real close from what I know, but we'll be on tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 2 hours for my man Tom, for Jim, Beyond Therapy. Any of you guys, King, want to come check it out? Not just 1 hour tomorrow on DARPA. We're going to do 2 hours, man. Got a great guest lineup. We got Mark Eisenberg joining the show at 7:10, and then I got a couple relatively newcomers, man, to the sports radio scene. If you follow me on Twitter, Joel M. the Mouth, I got a guy from Boston coming on, Johnny Whatnot. That's his name, actually. Johnny Whatnot does some songs about the Boston and sports. That's his name. I looked it up. And then we have a hot chick. That's right. I have a hot sports fan chick coming on. She's from North Carolina. She has an interesting sports fan story. So hot chicks. We got, we'll talk about some boobs, some hot chicks, some sports. Tuesday night, 2 hours. It can't get any better. Fan Forum returns, man.
And then what about Thursday night?
Thursday night, you know how we do. And can I announce it, Canessa? Are we official? Can I announce the guest for Thursday's show or what?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why not. I don't think there's any reason to worry.
All right, so we're going to, as per my producer, man, Thursday nights, the big show, 7 to 9, Sports Rants Radio. Sports Rants with a Z, 7 to 9, the Mouth on Sports. It's the most listened to, it's the most listened to, most best viewed show on Sports Rants. We get the most calls. We have a special guest, time to be announced, but Sid Rosenberg will be joining the show, and I know a lot of you guys are Sid Rosenberg junkies. He'll be back on the radio in South Florida in August. We'll talk to Sid about how he's doing in his personal life, not only in sports. So Thursday night, 2 hour show is special. Tuesday night and Thursday night this week, you're getting 4 hours of KC and the Mouth, Sports Rants Radio, DARPA TV. You know how we do, Canessa.
Well, Beyond Therapy has a good question, which you completely left out. It would be important for people to know what time to watch these shows.
All right, Tuesday night, we're from 7 to 9 right here on DARPATV.com, and then Thursday night from 7 to 9 on SportsRantsRadio.com. That's Eastern Standard Time.
All right, get off my airwaves. You're taking up my 3 minutes here. It was absolutely awesome.
Fuck you.
Whoa! He just dropped himself. I can't believe this. That's a first. Joel McGuirk just cut himself off. He usually cuts other people off, which is like his trigger finger. He's very quick to shut people out when he does his show, but he just absolutely cut himself off. I can't believe that I just saw what I saw. Boy, the king misses the hind. I'm not so sure I do. I miss Joe. I will admit to that. I miss Joe Heelan. I love Joe Heelan. Joe's a good guy. And I didn't kind of see eye to eye when all things were said and done at the end. But I don't know. Let's just leave it at that. did you see, I didn't know this, but apparently Bristol Palin has her own reality show now, and lo and behold, what a surprise, she's raising a little bigot in her household.
How can I go in the swimming pool?
I think there's a bunch of drunk kids down there.
Mom, but I want to.
You're not going out there. It's so late at night. You've been flying all day. We gotta go to bed.
No, I hate it.
Don't say that. That's really nice, Sunshine.
And sit down for a second,
Just sit
okay?
down. Be a good boy.
No, I'm not. I hate you guys.
Trip, stop saying that.
If you say it one more time, you're going in timeout. You're such a...
God's watching. Don't laugh at him.
You're not cute.
You're not cute.
I'm not trying to...
Ah, I hate you.
If you say that one more time, you're going to get soap in your mouth. Got it? You think you're...
I don't like you.
What did you just say?
I don't like you.
Look at my... Don't laugh. I can't believe you just said that. I'm doing a terrible job disciplining Trip. I know he's going to continue to push the boundaries and push the limit.
A little bigot, starting early. They bleeped it out. I think he said, I hate you, you stupid faggot, or something like that. But they bleeped it out. So it looks like she's the little Trip or Trig or whatever the hell this one is called is taking after Grandma and after Mommy. It's good to see that the bigotry continues generation upon generation upon generation. Now, earlier today, in case you were sleeping or perhaps you were somewhere else and didn't get a chance to see it, the shooter made his first appearance today in Aurora, Colorado. And if you haven't seen the video of this guy yet, he really did dye his hair red, and it's still red. And the look in his eyes, the look on his face when he made his first appearance was extremely, extremely frightening. Beyond Therapy says in the chat room that the shooter looked so drugged. I couldn't agree more. Nobody would confirm that he was on some kind of drug. I can only imagine he has to be on something. Some kind of antidepressant or something, some kind of antipsychotic, because he looked so drugged it wasn't even funny. BT, you're 100% correct. Nobody would admit it. Take a look at these pictures and this video of him today in his first appearance. It's remarkable. If I only knew what I was doing. I have a couple of videos with similar slugs, so I accidentally put the wrong one on. That is not the one where he was in court, and I'm having trouble finding it. So you just bear with me for a second. I'll find the court appearance where he goes into, where he made his first appearance in court, and I'm just having trouble with all this. And because the video thing isn't working right, that means I'm not going to. But you take my word for it. This guy was in... I don't know what you call kind of form he was in, but he certainly looked to me like he was completely drugged up. Here it is. I think I just found it, and for some reason it won't stick around, but I think I got it now. Let's see. Nope. Just bear with me a second. This is great. This is technology at its finest. I don't know why the hell it keeps scrolling in a weird way on me, but I'm trying my best. Just bear with me for 1 second. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, we'll just move on to something else because we're running out of time as it is. Here is Holmes in court earlier today. Well, for some reason, it's not working, and none of the videos seem to be working. But I pretty much covered all I wanted to get to anyway. We talked a lot about the Penn State with Joel. We talked some sports and things of that nature. So I think I'm going to wrap things up here at about 51 minutes past the hour on this Monday evening. I certainly want to thank Joel for shoving in earlier and for spending 40 minutes of time with me. I want to thank Beyond Therapy for being here. I haven't seen you in a long time. And I want to thank King as well for showing up. And, of course, our regulars, Jimmy Graham. And it was good to see Tom and Jersey Rob and just about everybody who was here today. I'm extremely grateful for you guys coming back. since KC&60 has made its return here to DARPA TV. I'm very grateful to each and every one of you for that very, very much. I'm going to do some more shows during the course of the week, maybe tomorrow, maybe Wednesday. I'm not 100% no, not tomorrow, because Joel's doing his show tomorrow, so it probably won't be till Wednesday. In the meantime, coming up in just about 9 minutes from now on sportsrantsradio.com. I hope you check it out. It's a show a friend of mine does. Her name is Christina. It's called Slicks and Sticks. She talks NASCAR on that show, but she also talks the NHL. And I would presume today, with all the things that are going on with Rick Nash coming to the New York Rangers, there will be quite a bit of discussion about the NHL tonight on Slicks and Sticks. I hope you'll check it out at sportsrantsradio.com. Rants is spelled R-A-N-T-Z, so make sure you get that right. That's where Joel does his show on Thursdays, so check it out, coming up at 8 o'clock. That's going to do it from just outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Canessa signing off for now. Thanks again for showing up, everybody, and we will see you again very, very soon. Good night, everybody.